Hey, welcome to another video. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ted and I talk bass. This channel is all about tips, tricks, and tutorials for what I like to call the blue-collar bass player. If you like that kind of content, please hit that subscribe button, the like button, and all that other YouTube-y stuff. Today I want to talk real quickly about how to get through Soundcheck. There's some things that you should do and should not do at Soundcheck. I'm just getting done with my regular gig here in New Orleans, and I wanted to share some ideas with you that may not be commonplace. So if you're an advanced player, this video may not be for you, but if you're somebody that's just getting out, gigs are coming back. So let's get into it. Thing number one that I think you should keep in mind when you're in Soundcheck is that is not a place for you to practice. So don't overplay when you're sound checking. What I like to do is I set my stuff up, plug my gear in, bop bop bop, get a sound. If I'm using pedals, just bop bop bop, make sure I can get everything is connected, get a sound, and then I wait my turn. Okay, so there's not a place to shed. If you're practicing and you're working on licks and you're just playing and stuff like that, and this really goes for any musician, then that gets annoying really, really quickly, especially depending on the size of the gig. If you're at a festival or something like that and people are playing, people are trying to talk and communicate and different things like that, you are getting on somebody's nerves and they may or may not tell you right there on the spot. Okay, so sometimes you may have people working around your amp, people on the production staff working around your rig or whatever, and so it just gets annoying. So don't shed. Number two, that brings me nicely into the next point, is while you're waiting for your turn to get checked. Okay, so let's say you've got your floor monitor and they're checking guitar, right? Whatever instrument they're checking, you want to hold up a finger, right? And this is going to let the sound people know. They're going to look around the stage, they're going to see who's got their finger up, and they're going to give you what you kind of a baseline of what you want. When you have about as much as you think you want, either do like this, put your hand down, or you can do like this to tell them to turn it down, or up to turn it up. So it's just like this kind of sign language thing, this universal sign language for Soundcheck. So you really want to be thinking about what you want to have in that wedge. All right. So don't practice. Listen while other people are sound checking, and up or down for accordingly, and stop for when you are good. All right, so this is a baseline that they're setting, right? The next thing is, when it comes your turn to check, play a wide range. You play as wide of a range of things as you can during the set. Maybe not a wide range. Think about like the softest thing you're gonna play and the loudest thing you're gonna play. Right? If you're sound checking like a folk gig or something like that, and your sound check is slap or thump for you sensitive folks, then that's not gonna work. That's gonna be a potential nightmare down the line. Also, if you're using pedals, go in and hit a couple pedals so they can get sort of an idea of the range of stuff you're gonna be doing through the evening. The regular gig that I play is a funk and R&B gig, but we do also do standard, like the standard, like My Girl and stuff like that. So what I will do typically is I will play the opening to My Girl, right? I'll play it with my fingers. I'll play it palm muted, okay? And then I will, because that's one of the more mellow, one of the mellower tunes that we play during the day. And I'll also play Fantastic Voyage by Lakeside, right? So that has some thump stuff in it, right? Or I'll play No Parking on the Dance Floor or something like that. to dial those things in. Those are two very, very different sounds that I'm getting out of one bass. And I'll also, if I'm going to be using pedals during the day, I will kick in the pedals. There's only 3 pedals that I really use on a gig, right? And I use them very, very sparingly. I use the MXR filter. I use the MXR octave pedal, the mini one that's kind of based on the order of the OC2, and a microphone. I use the microphone very, 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 very seldom. Okay, so but an envelope, and I don't have a compressor on my pedal board at the moment. And envelope filters, if you're not careful, you're gonna blow something. You could really, get a surprise during the gig if you don't check that, and then you're like, oh shit, I blew my rig, or I blew something in the PA, whatever. So those are 3 tips that I think will be very helpful for you to make you look more professional. You'll have a better experience with the band, and you'll get a more of a kind of an even baseline for the sound throughout the day or throughout the gig. I play right now. The gigs I play are pretty long. They are actually 5-hour gigs. 3 hours, break, 2 hours. And something else. So I said earlier about getting what you want in the wedge. For me, I want, depending on the size of the gig, right? If I'm playing a festival gig, I want some kick drum. I definitely want the harmonic. I want to be able to communicate with the keyboard player. So in order, I want keys, guitar. I want a little bit of kick, and vocals. Depending on how many vocals that they have, I want those in there as well, because I gotta be able to communicate musically. And when I say communicate, I mean hear that person. I want that in my monitor as well. I also, again, depending on the size of the gig, I also want a pinch of bass coming right back at me, right? I'm not a technical guy. I can't tell you why things sound the way that they do in some of these settings, but the last outdoor thing I did was in Alabama. It was freezing, in Huntsville. It was freezing cold, and the drums are not too far from me, but feeling them. I want to feel them. I don't want to just hear my bass. I don't want to hear, I need to be able to communicate with the drummer, but I don't need all of the drums in my wedge because he's right there. But the keyboards and the guitar are all the way on the other side of the stage, right? So I need to be able to hear them. They need to be able to hear me. Most people on the other side of the stage, the drummer's going to want bass in their wedge and stuff like that. But at this gig, I had horns right in front of me. They didn't want any bass. Why? Because they're standing in front of me, and I've got this giant Aguilar 810 cabinet pointed right at them. So they didn't need any bass. So anyway, those are some tips that you could use the next time you find yourself in a sound check situation. I hope you dug the video. If you did, go on and smash that like button, destroy that like button. You know that the YouTube algorithm is always changing, and I'm trying to get these views back up to where they need to be. So leave me a comment, communicate with me. If you have a question or a comment or a topic that you want me to cover in a future video, let me know in the comment section below. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you're well. Hope you're safe, and be looking out for a live stream. One of the homies, Fleets, asked me if live streams were over. They aren't over, but as a full-time teacher, hellish year teaching with COVID. We're almost to summer, and so just kind of getting that thing together. So anyway, I hope to see you guys soon. Do all that stuff. Do all the YouTube-y stuff, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace. 2 fingers.